Hello everyone. You probably noticed something different today. Yep, I'm wearing this mask. But don't worry, it's all part of today's topic. So what does this mask have to do with Databricks? Well, just like a mask hides your face, data masking in Databricks hides sensitive information. Curious now? Right. Perfect. I'm Naval Yemul. Welcome to my YouTube channel Data Master. Today we are going to dive into one of the coolest feature in Databricks called dynamic views. We are talking about serious control here like column level restriction, row level restriction, and of course data masking all within Unity Catalog. So you might have done a data access control in any of your databases or your modern data warehouses, but I'm not talking about just a table level, or I'm not talking about the data access control on the objects of the databases. I'm talking beyond that. I'm talking about the column level restriction, row level restriction, and data masking. So I've done a previous videos on what is Unity Catalog, how you can do a data access control. So if you haven't watched, I request you to please go back and watch the complete playlist on the Unity Catalog. So without wasting much time, let us talk about the data masking or a dynamic views in the Databricks. So I'll give you a simple scenario. Imagine that you are dealing with a sensitive customer's data, like you have their phone numbers, you have their email addresses, you have their SSN numbers or other numbers, and it's a personal identifiable information that is called a PII data that you need to share it, but you need to share it in a secure way. So that's where the data masking, column level restriction, row level restriction comes into picture. So you make sure that only the right eyes see the right information. So let's get into how we can implement all this dynamic views in the database. Let us jump on. Let us dive deep into our hands-on now. I am into my Databricks workspace, and I have just created a new notebook called Dynamic View, and I have pinned the compute, all purpose compute with a name called Data Master. So I'm creating a database. I'm just writing a simple command, create database if not exist, and it's a PII data database. And I'm just using this database. I'm switching it to the database. And if the table exists, it will drop. And the table name I would like to take is PII data. So simple, I'm just writing a create table command with these column names and the data types, and I'm inserting the records. So these are the records, so few records, and then I'm doing a select star from the table name. Let me run this. Till it executes, let me show you documentation related to this. You can come to the Databricks documentation on Azure side or on AWS Databricks side. So we find a beautiful documentation saying create a dynamic view. So in this you can see that in Unity Catalog you can use the dynamic views to configure fine-grained access control. As I told you, in any database or any data warehouse, we can do a data access control on the objects, but I'm talking about a fine-grained access control, like the security at the level of columns and the rows, and the data masking. So this documentation helps you a lot. So we are definitely going to pick the command from the same, like column level permission, we have a row level permissions, and we have a data masking also. Okay, so I'll explain it. We are going to use a inbuilt function called isAccountMember. So let me tell you, isAccountMember. So we just need to give a group name. So the function is isAccountGroupMember. So let us imagine that in any organization we'll have number of groups like data engineers, data analytics, business intelligence, data science, stakeholders, business owners. So you'll have varieties of groups here. So I want to restrict the data for those particular groups. So we can do it by using this is account group member. So it returns true if the current user is a member of that specific account level group. Now, how do we create that group? So your account admin has that permission to create a group. So for that, you need to enable the Unity catalog. So I have already made a videos on how to enable the Unity catalog. Now we are assuming that your account is already enabled with the Unity catalog. So we can create a groups, and now we are just assuming that we have a group. So if you want to know like how the group is created and so on, please do let me know in the comment. I'll make a separate video on that. So recommended to use in the dynamic views against the Unity catalog data. So we are going to use this is account group member. Let me just scroll down, and you can see how you can achieve the dynamic views. You can achieve it by using the SQL warehouses or in the compute also with the shared access mode and so on. Okay. So moving further, so this is the syntax for column level permissions. You can pick it from the same one, and then you can do the refinement according to your data set. So we generally recommend to create a views on top of your data. So yeah, you have a table. On top of the table, we create a view, and then we apply the column level permissions and the row level permissions on top of that view. So we are not going to touch your table, but just we are going to give the permissions to the view. And once you create a view, then you can give that view an access to the others. It might be your groups, or it might be your individual users. So how do we give access to those particular objects? In my previous video, I have explained you how to give a data access control on particular objects in the database or in the database and the catalog. So we have done all the hands-on on that. You can watch that. So the syntax is pretty simple here. We just say create view, or you can say create or replace view name as select. So we are selecting few columns, and now I want to restrict a column called email address, for example. You can just do case when is account group member auditor. So for auditor, you can see the email. Rest all users, it shows redacted. You can do it in the reverse way also. You can say case when is account group member, for example, data analyst, then you show them redacted, or else all you show them the email address. So you can do it in both the ways. So maybe I'll show you any one of that. So let me copy this. I'll come back. I guess we created a database and we also created a table on top of it. So I'll just take few seconds to show you in the catalog. Let me minimize this. Let me open this catalog to get some more space. Go to my data master default catalog. Let me do a quick refresh here. Oh, beautiful. You can see here you got a database called PII data, and in this we have a PII data. So I've just done a select star from that table, and you can see your table is here. We have few columns: ID, name, email, phone number. So yes, email address, phone numbers are personal information, and we have a age and date of birth. So I want to restrict this column, email column. Yeah, we can do it by using the syntax. I'll just go back. I'll be giving you all the links here. I'll just copy this. I'll click on copy. I'll come back and I'll just get a new code and I'll paste it here. Okay, I'll paste it here. So now I need to refine this with my use case. So I'll say create view. So view name I would like to give is PII data redacted as select. So I want to select the column names. So in my case it's a name ID column. Then I want to get a name column. Yeah, but when it comes to email, so I want to redact the email column. So we can do case when. Okay, cool. So I'll just say case when is account group member. So in my workspace, I have an account group member called account users. Okay, so I'm talking about all the account user, but in real time, you might have a different groups. So let me just go to my account manage account section and show you how the groups are actually created. So this access would be only for your admins and not for all. So here you will get a section called users and the groups. Let me just click on it. I just go back to the groups and you can see I have only account user as one group. So you can create a group. For example, let me just click on this and say data engineers, click on save, and you can add a people in that group. You can keep on adding it. Okay, so in this way we create a group, but now by default we have one group called account user. So let me take that account user. Yeah, you can see here I have used the account user. So I'll just write is account group member. If this is true, then show them email. So you can do it in a reverse way also. If the account member, I mean, is account group member is the account user, then you show them redacted. You can do it in a reverse way. So let me do that. So I'll just take this redacted and I'll paste it here. Okay. Yeah. I'll just paste it here. It should show the redacted in the email address column. Else it should show the email. Okay. Email. And let us end this as email. Then after email, you have a phone number column. So you can just take a phone number column. Cool. And then you have few columns like address, date, and country. Address, this, and then we have a date of birth, and then you have a age. Okay. Okay. And then you have a age. But I'm going to pick this from a table called PII data. This is my table name. Let me copy and then paste it here. This looks fine for me. Let me quickly run this. I'm going to create a view and the view name is PII data redacted. So in this case, if I try to query this view, I should see the column name email getting redacted. So here I am the one of the member of the account user. If you are creating a different groups, you can be a member of that account group or you might not be. Okay, so you need to think in that way. So let me just use SQL command here and run select star from the table name. Okay, that is a virtual table now. Let me take this and oh cool, you can see here you got your email, but your email is redacted. So for all the account user, if they are querying this view, they won't get any data in the email column. It would be just redacted. So this is how you can maintain the fine level or fine grained access control on the table column level restriction. Suppose if you say that no, I want to make it for the phone number also, yes, you can do it. So let me quickly show you. I'll just copy this entire column and I'll just put a same thing here, and here I'll change this to a phone number. Okay, so in this case both the columns should be redacted for me. Okay, yes. So it should throw us an error saying that the view already exists. Yeah, I missed that. So what I'll do, I'll just say create or replace. Let me try to run this. Yeah, cool. It got executed. Now let me try to rerun this select star. And now, oh, beautiful. You can see email and the phone number, both the columns got redacted. So this is how you can maintain the column level restriction. Cool. So I hope you got how the column level restriction is done. Now let us proceed further and see how you can maintain the row level restriction. Yes, you can do the row level restriction by using the same command or the same function called is account group member. And you can see just if you scroll down, you get a syntax for row level permission. So let me just copy this, come back to my notebook and let me paste it here. Okay. So if you want, I can take this notebook, I'll share it with you also. I'll just write it here. It's a column level restriction, column level, and here we are talking about a row level now. A row level, row level. So now I have a age column. Can you see that age column? So I have only few records here. So now I'm decided to show or restrict the records where the age is less than 30, for example, or less than 35. You can see less than 35. So I don't want to see this record. I want to see only the records where I have age greater than 35. If you have such type of use case, yes, you can use it. Not only for the age column, you can go and implement it for the state column, you can implement for the zone column, you can do it for the west region, north region, and so on. Okay, you can do that. So what I'll do now, I'll just do a quick copy paste business from here. Just copy this all and paste it here. So here I'm going to say I'll just going to remove these all. I'll say name, email, and then I'll go and get a phone number also. Can you mix and match both the things? Yes, my dear, you can do both the things also. Okay. So now I've taken the phone number. So let me take these all, like address and date of birth. Okay, let me take it here. Cool. Now I'm just implementing it on the age column. So let me remove this. You can check the logic here. The logic says case when is account group member managers, then you mention the logic, what logic you want. So we are doing it in a reverse way. We are saying that if the account user is querying it and if it is true, then you should not see the records which is less than 30. So we can do it in this way. Okay. So here I'll come back. I'll say not redacted here. I'll say then age less than, or maybe I think it should be greater than 35. Will not show the records which is less than 30. Okay. Then for others, you just show them age greater than 35. Else, I'll just put a age here. Age here. Okay, let me remove this. Yeah, let me see this now. So if you look at the syntax here, actually we use the row level in the where clause. So the logic is we use it in the where clause, saying where the case when, and we use that logic in the where clause. So let me go back. So here I want to use this all columns from the PII data. So let me take this from PII data. I'll try to remove this. And here I'm going to say where now I'm going to write a condition case when is account group member, account user, then you show them only the records where age is greater than 35. Else, go back and check the logic here. Else you show them true and you end that. Okay? Else you show them true, and then you end this. Okay, let me try to run this. I'm going to create a data. Actually, I'm going to create a view. Actually, I'll rename this view saying that PII data on the row side. Okay, row level. I'll just try to replace this. I'm going to run it. Now I'm going to use select star from the PII data row. Okay, so I should see the records where you have records which is only greater than 35. Can you see that? So you have a age where you have greater than 35. So I did not use the age column here. Let me just put a age column here and try this. Okay, let me run this, and now you should see a age column where you have age of the records which have age greater than 35. So this is how row level restriction happens. Okay, so you can do the row level restriction, you can do the column level restriction. Now we are going to back on our topic, that is a data masking. Can you see that? So we have a data masking. So now the third type of dynamic view I want to show is data masking. Very, very important. If you want to mask the email addresses, if you want to mask the phone numbers, you can use this syntax to mask it. So let me copy it, go back, and I have already pasted it. So let me just take that. Yeah, I have also pasted this. So I have just saying that create or replace view name is PII data masked, and I'm doing a select ID name, and for the email address, I'm saying that I'm using the same logic here. I'm saying when account group member, then you just redact their email addresses or you mask their email addresses. Okay, by using this regular expression extract. I'm extracting an email. And see here, I'm using a regular expression extract email. So I'm just taking this indexing and I'm taking the only first index out of it, or you just show them the email. So let me quickly run this. It's a self-explanatory, you can check that, and cool. So I got a new view called a PII data mask. Now let me just run this, and you should see that you got a new column name called as a masked email, where you could not see the customer's email addresses, you can just see their domain name. So if you just check data, select star from PI data, could see all the records with all the data now. Yeah, you can see here you got an email address, but when you have masked that, you can just see the domain and not the actual email address. And even you can create your user defined function, like if you want to say that no, I want to just show the first letter and mask all that by using a star, you can create a own UDF, user defined function, and then you can pass that UDF in this syntax. So that is how we can do a data masking in Unity Catalog's Databricks. So after you create these views, let me quickly refresh this. And after you create a view, now you can go back and you can give this data, or you give this views and access to others. You can give it to a group or the user, and they can just select or they can just view the data on this view. So that's all for today's session, guys. So I hope you have learned how you can do a data masking, how you can restrict the column level data, row level data in Databricks. So if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, share it with your friends and your colleagues. Thank you very much. Bye bye. See you in the next video.